everyone, this is Sam with the Nixon Offroad crew. Today we are going to be installing a front bumper on our Jeep Wrangler. This front bumper is for all Jeep Wranglers in the 2018 to 2020 models, JL or JT. Now we have a 4-in-1 bumper here. Now I said it right, that's 4-in-1. We have created an adaptable bumper that can be trail ready. It can provide protection for whatever you need to do. It's a bit of an installation. It does, like the rear bumper, it does take a little bit more time to take off this front bumper. Let's get started.
Now, first thing to know, to install the extensions, there's going to be 4 bolts on each side with an additional 4 if you're going to be installing that bull bar as well. Don't forget to tighten everything up as you're working. It's the same deal if you want the mid-length extension instead. We try to make it as easy as possible for you. So again, it's just 4 bolts on each side. As I just said, it's an additional 4 bolts if you want to install the bull bar. Now, we do recommend that you install this before you actually attach the bumper, because if you wait till it's on there, you're going to be dealing with some pretty small, tight spaces. Next, we need to secure 8 carriage bolts to prepare for the future step of attaching the front bumper later on. We need to secure these 4 points on both sides. Both sides are going to look just like this. We're going to be using a different type of washer. These are push lock washers. Now, they're designed to hold the screw in place until it's actually secured. Now, you want to be careful. They do have some points on them. We do recommend wearing gloves. And you're going to want to make sure it's as flush to the bracket as possible. And we are going to be dealing with some tight spaces again here. You might want to use some tools to help get the job done right. We need it perfectly aligned and as flush to the bracket as possible. It's the same deal if you want the stubby extension instead. We try to make it as easy as possible for you. So again, it's just 4 bolts on either side. So now we're done with the workbench, we can move back to the Jeep. Now we need to take out the main plastic piece that protects the underbelly in the front of the Jeep, and that's going to be 8 clips in the front and 2 screws in the back. Now you can just notch out the 8 clips with just a little bit of force. The 2 screws in the back will just take a little bit longer. The next step is to remove these 2 bolts on this underguard piece. Now, you don't have to remove this underguard piece, but it does make the main bolts on the bumper much easier to reach later on. We're now moving back up to the top of the bumper because we need to loosen up this small plastic trim. Now, it has 6 clips and 2 screws holding it in place, and we're going to need to remove those in order to loosen it. We're now going back underneath because we got to remove this small protective plastic piece. Now, there are 7 long screws here to remove, and it's going to take a little bit longer because these screws do take a minute. Which is why it's way easier to use a power tool for this particular task. Sometimes these protective pieces don't come out too easily and require just a little bit of force and pressure to pop them out. Now we can remove that small plastic trim from earlier. We're in the home stretch now of this install with just 8 nuts to remove from the main bumper body. Now before you install your new bumper, be sure to detach the front fog lights main connector first. We're almost home now. Let's get that new bumper on. The final steps now is to take your time, make sure you get the right fit. This is not a time that you want to rush. And then it's just a case of attaching the last 8 carriage bolts on our front bumper. It's going to be 4 on each side. Then tighten those nuts on the back, and we're there.
And that completes our install. Now you will notice that there are 2 empty holes right here on the bumper. Now this is so you can install your OEM fog lights. And we've included these little brackets so you can do just that. Now this install is going to take you about an average of about an hour. So take your time, make sure you do the job once, check all your fitments, have a great time.